Hello, this is Tesla Scott, and welcome to my second YouTube video. Today I'm going to talk about why you should sell your Porsche and buy a Tesla Cyberbeast. The Porsche, of course, is a world-renowned sports car, dream car for many, and really a bucket list car. The Cybertruck is brand new, Cyberbeast in my case, and is sharp, muscular, and fast. Think about this. A 911 was beaten by a Cybertruck towing a 911. A Cyberbeast can go 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. A Porsche goes 0 to 60 in anywhere from 3.5 to 4.6 seconds. Advantage? Yes. A Porsche Panamera has a top speed of about 190 miles an hour. A Cybertruck is limited to 130. Advantage, Porsche. What about cost? I'm paying $1,202 basically a month. I gave a $10,820 deposit on the Cybertruck, and the total cost of the Cybertruck is $115,735. Moving on to the Porsche. The total cost of the Porsche is $115,745. So instead of $1,202, you're paying $1,599 for the Porsche, and instead of $20 for the Cybertruck, you're paying $12,159 for the Porsche. What does that mean? That means that when a manufacturer sells you something on a lease, they are taking the risk of depreciation and maintenance. And so, what Porsche is saying is they think you're going to pay a lot more for maintenance and you're going to see a lot more depreciation on a Porsche versus Tesla on a Cybertruck. And in fact, your savings $15,656 over 3 years on a Cybertruck, actually a Cyberbeast. Big advantage, Tesla. What about cost of insurance? This Tesla Cyberbeast is costing me $3,755. That's a 2025. A Porsche Hybrid 2025 projects at $5,107. Advantage, Tesla. What about room inside? You've got the removal of the massive hump in the middle for the drive pane in the Porsche, so that gives you a bunch of room up front. Same situation in the back. And then when you look on the console in the middle, the Tesla's, of course, is about 8-10 inches deep. The Porsche is roughly 2 or 3 inches. And then there's some other places you can store under the seats, in the front and the back, the door handle, and the door side. Advantage, Tesla there. Even though the Porsche has a great trunk, the Tesla, obviously, with the rear bed, has more space. And then, of course, you can't forget the front, which is the trunk that's up front of the Cyberbeast. And that's there because the batteries are stored under the floor. Advantage, Tesla. The Porsche has a great sound idling. The Tesla, nothing. Advantage, Porsche. And I've always thought that the very popular shape of cars today is a turtle. And that turtle look was invented by GM in 1970 with the Camaro. And that shape is iconic and has stood the test of time for 55 plus years. Other than the Beatles breaking up in 1970, maybe it was the Camaro that shocked the world. And speaking of shocking the world, I have to give the new shape to Tesla Cybertruck. There's nothing that comes close to that on the road today as far as getting noticed. Advantage Tesla. I very seldom kill a bug on the windshield of the Cybertruck. It's so aerodynamic. Most people like the Porsche. I'm going to give it to Porsche on the front end. As far as the back end, got to give it to Porsche again. The back end of the Cybertruck is a typical pickup. Porsche is great in S-curves. The Cybertruck is great on rocks. They both have victories in this one. The Porsche has about an 8.5 inch seat height. The Cybertruck has a 15-inch seat height. There is no comparison. The Cybertruck is incredibly comfortable. It's really the most comfortable car I've seen since a minivan, Chrysler. Advantage Tesla. What about sound? Both radios are great. So the real determining factor is how much noise there is in the cabin. You can see the Porsche runs about 3 to 4 dBs. And then when you get to the Tesla Cybertruck, you're down around 12 to 15, I should say. That is significantly less noisy than the Porsche. So the radio sound has to go to the Tesla Cybertruck. Also, radio selection. With the Porsche, you're listening to satellite radio via satellite. With the Cybertruck, you're listening to satellite radio via internet. So you have a large number of variation. You have 5 different 70s channels, 5 different 60s channels. Advantage Tesla. What about safety? Well, the Porsche is a 4-star rated car, but all the Teslas are 5-star, and probably they are the safest cars on the road, hands down. And you can't beat the fact that the Cybertruck is bulletproof as well. Advantage Tesla. What about the dashes of the two vehicles? Yes, Tesla's is radical, don't get me wrong. It's groundbreaking. But man, that Porsche dash, I remember sitting down in that thing the first time. I thought, wow. And as I've discovered, there's about 3 different ways to do every task on that dash. Advantage Porsche. Not a fan of the hybrids. I think they're frankly stupid. I have a cousin who spent $5,000 extra on a Ford hybrid, and I calculated he's saving $3,000. He spent $5,000 to save $3,000. Sort of stupid. Same thing with the Panamera Turbo. You're getting 50 miles of electric power, probably spending $15,000. As far as my Tesla Cyberbeast, I've driven roughly 1,978 miles thus far. I've saved $242 in gas. And over 30,000 miles, my savings versus a gas car would be $3,670, a gas Porsche, I should say, in energy costs. Now the hybrid, you get about, say, 19 miles in the gas side, and for the 50 miles that you're in the electric side, it's about 48 miles to the gallon. So over 240 miles, which is the 80% charge range of the Cyberbeast, the Porsche hybrid costs $30. The Tesla costs $16. Over the lease of 30,000 miles, you save about $1,750 versus the hybrid Porsche. Another cost advantage, Tesla. Full self-driving is where the world is going, and no one has it, and no one is even close to it like Tesla. I have no idea how these legacy automakers are going to compete with Tesla. They are so far behind. And most of them can't even turn a profit on electric cars. In my opinion, this is a titanic advantage for Tesla. Take a look at that navigation on that Cybertruck. You can see the docks and the little lake up there. Apple Play isn't close to that, and neither is the Porsche navigation system. Advantage, Tesla. And whether you're American or whether you're German, I'm sure that makes a big difference. But there's no inventor that I'm aware of in the history of the world like Elon Musk. And there's no manufacturer in the history of the world like Elon Musk. No one can compete with that. That's my opinion, of course. Whether you're like the tried and true shape of the Porsche or the avant-garde new shape of the Tesla, in this contest, the Tesla is a far better purchase and very much less expensive. Even though the initial starting cost is within $10 of each other, you're saving $6,000 a year on the Tesla versus the Porsche. So in this contest, the Tesla is a far superior purchase than the Porsche, and you should sell your Porsche and buy a Tesla Cyberbeast. Thank you for watching my second video. The next one will be driving the Cyberbeast from Michigan to Florida. We'll see you in the next one.